Former President Trump is stepping for Republican Montana Senate candidate Tim Sheehan in Bozeman today. The widely watched toss-up Senate race could give Republicans control of the Senate. Let's bring our panel. Washington Examiner, Restoring America editor Kaylee McGhee White, and Jonathan Kott, former communications director for Senator Joe Manchin. So Donald Trump in Montana today. It's the first campaign event that he's got all this week. And it's for Tim Sheehan. It's not a Donald Trump event. He was asked yesterday at Mar-a-Lago, why is Kamala Harris doing all of these events and you're not? Listen to what he said.
Because I'm letting their convention go through, and I am campaigning a lot. I'm doing tremendous amounts of taping here. We have commercials that are at a level I don't think that anybody's ever done before. Plus, in certain cases, I see many of you in the room where I'm speaking to you on phones, I'm speaking to radio, I'm speaking to television. Television's coming over here.
Now, this idea of staying dark, Kaylee McGhee White, during conventions went out the window a long time ago. I think the last person who really observed it was John Kerry in 2004, and it cost him the election. So why is Donald Trump letting her have the spotlight on the campaign trail?
Well, especially when you consider how much media hype there is right now for Kamala, you would think that Trump's campaign would be trying to steal back those airwaves. And I think that this does reflect a concern among conservatives right now that there's a difference in their ground games. However, you know, him going to campaign for Jon Tester, I think he realizes how important these down ballot races are going to be and how the polls in these down ballot races are actually a better reflection of where the national public is at than some of the national polling showing Kamala Harris significantly ahead. We know that Tester's down 2 points according to the latest poll. Trump's trying to throw his weight in these down ballot races to help Republicans in the long term as well.
I mean, not surprising that Sheehan is ahead in Montana. I mean, Trump did win it by, I think, 16 points back in 2020. As you pointed out, it's a close race. Sheehan is ahead over Tester by a couple in one poll that we saw. And there's a lot of other competitive Senate races out there as well. Montana's a toss-up. Michigan is a toss-up. It's an open seat. Nevada and Ohio as well. Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all leaning Democrat. How do you think, Jonathan, swapping up Biden for Kamala Harris may affect those down ballot races?
We've already seen it. It's affecting them greatly. Like, a lot of the people who were behind in the polls are now leading in the polls. Jon Tester is excited to have Donald Trump come to Montana. He came 4 times in 2018, and Jon Tester won. Also, it's going to be hard for Donald Trump to come in and attack Jon Tester. He signed 20 of his bills into law, and today 100 Republicans in Montana, including the former governor and former RNC chair, endorsed Jon Tester. So I think in Arizona, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Democrats are going to welcome Donald Trump coming in. If he performs as he did on that press conference yesterday, it's just chaos and darkness and lies, and that doesn't help the Republican senators running. You know,
you may have different opinions of what Donald Trump did yesterday at Mar-a-Lago, but he captured the attention of all 3 big cable networks for an entire hour, whereas Kamala Harris didn't. And he got a chance to say, look, I just did an hour of freewheeling, taking questions and giving answers. She didn't do anything. After that, she did do a gaggle with reporters on the tarmac for 70 seconds. And during that, here's what she said. Listen.
Glad that he's finally agreed to a debate on September 10th. I'm looking forward to it, and hope he shows up.
Are you open to more debate?
I am happy to have that conversation about an additional debate for after September 10th, for sure. I've talked to my team. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month.
All right, there's a lot to unpack there, but I want to focus first of all on what she said at the very end. I've been talking to my team. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month. She said that on August the 8th. There's a lot of month left.
It is remarkable that she has not already begun taking questions and holding press conferences. And her entire campaign strategy at this point seems to be fake it until you make it. She wants to be shielded. She doesn't want to have to answer these questions. And it's remarkable that not a single leftist media outlet has pointed out that if you go to Kamala Harris's campaign website right now, there is not a single page dedicated to a policy position. It's only donation tabs. So if you as a voter wanted to learn what Kamala Harris's policies were, you would not even be able to at this point.
Right. Okay. So here's what J.D. Vance had to say to the press about the fact that Kamala Harris wasn't answering any of their questions. Listen here.
Have they given you guys an explanation for why she won't take questions from reporters? No? Nobody? Okay.
He said, did they give you an explanation as for why she's not taking questions? Nobody answered. which again sort of speaks to the incurious nature of the folks who were following her around, that they don't seem to care.
Right. I don't think the Harris campaign is going to take advice from J.D. Vance, who took a bunch of questions after he was announced, and
I'm not saying the
was
campaign.
a debacle.
I'm not saying the campaign, but it's like the people who are following her on the road, the media following her on the road. They're not saying, "Why isn't she answering our questions? Why isn't she giving us availabilities?"
They're not going to say that to J.D. Vance. He's asking them questions. They're reporters. They don't respond to him.
But their reporters talk to other people from the same organization,
and I'm sure they would love to get an interview with.
I remember when I was out on the '96 campaign. I was out of the 2000 campaign, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016. And if a candidate wasn't answering our questions or giving us time, we would browbeat them until they did.
Well, that's the thing is, Kamala Harris's campaign strategy is a smart political move, but it doesn't make any sense for reporters whose job is to get answers to very tough questions that the public deserves to know. Why are they allowing Kamala Harris's campaign to do this? That should be the concern for everyone who cares about an inquisitive and free press.
Yeah, I was on the 2020 campaign. Forgot that one.
I would just say this. Voters are hearing from Kamala Harris. That's how you win
About
elections.
what?
She's speaking directly to voters. She's telling them
about what?
I will tell you if you let me. She's telling them her vision for the country and Tim Walz's vision for the
Which includes what
country.
policies?
She is laying them out. You should watch one of the rallies. They talk about them extensively.
I have. They're very scripted. She reads from the teleprompter. She repeats the exact same speech every time. And she has not mentioned a single policy that she plans to implement. It's a serious problem.
We got to go. But on that point, we will show you some video which backs up what Kaylee just said. Kaylee, Jonathan, thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.